He sat at the defense table, shackled and hollow-eyed, staring at the floor as the prosecutor's voice echoed through the silent courtroom. This man murdered Jessica Carter in cold blood. Gasps rippled through the jury box. David Reynolds, a 32-year-old mechanic, lifted his head slowly, his voice breaking. "I didn't kill her," he whispered. Across the room, on the witness stand, sat Ryan Hale, David's lifelong best friend, the man who had been like a brother to him. Ryan's eyes were cold, his voice steady. "I saw him do it. I wish it weren't true, but it is." The betrayal stung like fire. These two men had grown up together, worked side by side in the auto shop, shared beers, dreams, and heartbreaks. But everything changed the day Jessica Carter moved to town. Jessica was beautiful, ambitious, and full of life. She was new to Briarwood, and while Ryan was instantly drawn to her, it was David who stole her heart. They fell in love quickly. For David, she was the missing piece of his life. But Ryan's smiles grew strained, his jokes sharper. He masked his bitterness, but David could feel it, the quiet resentment in his best friend's eyes. One night, Jessica went out for coffee with a friend. She never came home. Hours later, her body was found in an alley behind a diner, stabbed multiple times. The evidence seemed clear. David's jacket near the scene, his fingerprints on the knife. And who found the evidence? Ryan. From the very start, Ryan played his part perfectly. David couldn't handle her leaving him, Ryan told police. He said if he couldn't have her, no one could. The town turned on David instantly. Neighbors avoided him. Friends whispered. His own family looked at him with doubt. While David sat in jail, Ryan even visited him, crocodile tears in his eyes. "I'll testify, man, but I have to tell the truth. I'm sorry." The trial was brutal. The prosecutor painted David as a jealous, violent man. Ryan was a grieving friend, torn between loyalty and justice. Piece by piece, Ryan's lies became David's reality. The jury believed every word. But everything changed moments before the jury was set to deliberate. A young journalist, Emma Clark, stormed into the courtroom with a folder of evidence she had spent weeks compiling. She had found security footage from a pawn shop near the alley. Footage of Ryan himself disposing of a blood-stained shirt the night Jessica died. Even worse, she discovered Ryan had purchased a knife identical to the murder weapon just days before the killing. The judge allowed the footage to be played. Silence fell as the screen showed Ryan's face, unmistakable, sealing his fate. The jury gasped. David's lawyer turned, his voice booming. "Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the wrong man stand trial." Ryan's composure shattered. "He stole her from me," he screamed. "She was supposed to be mine." The courtroom erupted. David stared at him, tears streaming, not of anger but of heartbreak. His best friend, his brother, the man he trusted most had betrayed him. Ryan was arrested on the spot. The jury cleared David of all charges. The judge looked at him solemnly. "The system failed you, but today, truth prevailed." David wept as his mother embraced him. Ryan glared as officers dragged him away. "This isn't over," he hissed. Outside, reporters swarmed David. "What will you do now?" they asked. David wiped his eyes. "I lost everything. My freedom, my best friend, the woman I loved. But the truth came out. That's what matters. Never stop fighting for the truth, no matter how hopeless it seems." Months later, David tried to rebuild his life. But one night, as he locked up his shop, he found a letter slipped under the door. His hands trembled as he read the chilling words. "You think it's over? It's not. R." David froze as he read the letter slipped under his shop door. "You think it's over? It's not. R." His heart pounded. Ryan had been sentenced to life in prison. How could this be happening? The next day, David took the letter to the police. They confirmed it was Ryan's handwriting. Someone had helped him smuggle the letter out of prison. Fear began creeping back into David's life. Every night, he locked his doors twice, his eyes darting to every shadow outside. A week later, David came home to find his windows shattered. A single photo of him and Jessica lay on the floor, the glass frame cracked down the middle. Panic surged through him. "He's coming for me," David whispered. But David wasn't alone anymore. Emma Clark, the journalist who had saved his life, refused to let history repeat itself. "We'll stop him," she said firmly. Together, they dug into Ryan's prison records. They discovered Ryan had been plotting his escape for months, manipulating guards, bribing fellow inmates, planning revenge on David for stealing his life. Then one rainy night, the inevitable happened. Ryan escaped. The entire town went on lockdown. Police swarmed the streets. David stayed at Emma's house for safety. Days passed, and then it happened. Ryan stormed into David's auto shop late one night, a knife in hand, his face twisted with hatred. "You ruined everything," Ryan hissed. "She should have been mine." But this time, David was ready. As Ryan lunged, David dodged and pinned him to the ground. Sirens wailed outside. Police burst in, guns drawn. Ryan was dragged away, screaming, "This isn't over." But it was. This time, Ryan was sent to a maximum security facility, where he would never escape again. David stood outside the courthouse days later, finally free of the shadow that had haunted him for so long. Emma smiled at him. "It's over now." David looked at her, a faint smile breaking across his face. "Yeah, it finally is." In the month that followed, David and Emma grew close. What started as gratitude turned into friendship and eventually love. Together, they started a non-profit to help the wrongly accused, determined to give hope to others who have been betrayed like David. Years later, David stood in a courtroom, not as a defendant, but as an advocate for justice. The crowd applauded as he shared his story, a living reminder that truth always has a way of winning. Never stop fighting for what's right, David told the audience. Because even when it feels hopeless, justice can prevail, and life can be beautiful again. If this story gave you hope, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories where truth, courage, and justice win in the end. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and never underestimate the power of never giving up.